I always wanted to be big fish in a small pond rather than small fish in a big pond. As far as your first question about entrepreneurship, my only take is either you have it or you don't. You cannot make a guy who is content with regular job 9 to 5 and turn him into an entrepreneur. When I was growing my business, I was very laser focused. My job was winning government contracts, working late nights, working with my team. I had rolled up my sleeves. You got to hire the right people. You got to ensure that those right people are taken care of, and you want to make sure that those right people are committed to your job. Financials are the most important aspect of any business. I don't play golf at all, but I invested in golf business because the numbers were too good. When I invest for long term. That's where you're going to get value for money.
Hello, my name's Crystal Call. Welcome to the second episode of Journey to the C-Suite. Today we have the honor of having Mr. Sandesh Sharda on, who is a serial entrepreneur and investor. Mr. Sandesh Sharda is a philanthropist and serial entrepreneur who successfully exited his U.S. federal government IT business in March of 2023. Mr. Sharda was the president and owner of Miracle Systems, a U.S. government vendor in the Washington, D.C. area. During his 19-plus years tenure as founder at Miracle Systems, Miracle won over $2.6 billion in U.S. dollars in federal government contracts, supporting agencies such as the Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Protection, Transportation Security Administration, Health and Human Services, U.S. Department of State, and the Department of Defense, including the U.S. Air Force and the Pentagon. As a successful business owner, Mr. Sharda brings key insight into how to build a strong business, market, and grow. Mr. Sharda is an MBA from London and a graduate from Mumbai University, securing top ranking in his classes. He's the founder of the Indian American Business Impact Group, IAMBIG, and is a judge of Ideabaz's show, which is India's Shark Tank. Mr. Sharda also runs multiple nonprofit organizations and has built senior citizen homes for over 150 residents in Indore, India, worth over $25 million. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Sandesh, can you please share a bit about your childhood and the struggles you faced?
So I had a very good childhood, and I come from a small city in India called Bhopal, which is a center of Madhya Pradesh as well as India. I grew up there. I did my schooling till 9th grade over there. I had good friends, played cricket growing up, watching Amitabh Bachchan movies, and then moved to Bombay because my dad was in State Bank of India, and with his job, we also moved. And in Bombay, I did my graduation from Sydenham College, and then I did my master's in London when my dad got transferred again through his bank at London branch of State Bank of India. So overall, I had a good childhood. I had a good set of parents who instilled upon us to study. So like any other kid, I had to study in India. And I can't complain. I wouldn't change anything about my childhood. Good childhood, good friends. And I still have a lot of friends that I am in touch with through various social media platforms.
When you were a child, and did you express any interest in becoming an entrepreneur, and what was your parents' thoughts or feedback on that?
So, to be honest, my parents never forced me to do A or B, but there was a burning desire in me to do something of my own. I always wanted to be big fish in a small pond rather than small fish in a big pond. So the desire to do something, wherever I would go, I would see that, there is a business opportunity here or there. Like, believe it or not, when the mobile phones first came and I was in a plane, I couldn't log into internet. This is like 25 years back. I thought at that time, wouldn't it be nice if there was access to roaming Wi-Fi inside the plane? And it was not common back then to have Wi-Fi access inside plane, and eventually it happened. So there was always a problem identification, and the mind was always like, okay, is there a solution to this? So that, as I said, there was always a burning desire to do something.
Can you share a bit about your journey, what brought you to Washington, D.C., and how you've successfully built companies across very different industries?
When I graduated from my master's program in UK, I had an opportunity to interview with Oracle Corporation. I came here, I worked for Oracle Corporation, and I went to different projects, different cities, including Denver, Colorado, Anchorage, Alaska, Austin, Texas, and my fourth or fifth project was in Washington, D.C. for U.S. Department of Transportation. It was an ERP implementation work on Oracle Financials. I was there and never went back to any other city after that. So my job brought me back to this area. And then after my implementation was done, I started my own company, and then I grew from one person to until I sold my business.
And what has been the common thread in how you approach entrepreneurship? Miracle Systems became one of the most successful federal IT contracting firms under your leadership. What lessons from that journey continue to shape how you evaluate opportunities today?
So as far as your first question about entrepreneurship, my only take is either you have it or you don't. Okay, you cannot make a guy who is content with regular job, 9 to 5, and turn him into an entrepreneur. It doesn't work that way. You got to have that burning desire in you and willingness to do whatever it takes to be successful and entrepreneur. So that's my first take on that. Through my experience at Miracle Systems, and while also I was at Miracle Systems, I practiced delegation, meaning identifying the right person for the right job. Once you do that or hire the right people for your different functions, your job becomes easy. Of course, you have to be hands-on, you need to know what you're doing, and you need to get your hands dirty so that any of your employee or any of your senior executive cannot give you a different answer. You already know the answer, so you're just testing them on different skill sets at different situations to see whether they are up to the task or not all the time.
You've invested in sectors ranging from AI and healthcare to films, media, golf, and resorts. How do you decide which industries or projects to pursue?
Financials are the most important aspect of any business. And I truly believe that if you want to build a sustainable business, you got to make money from those businesses. Yes, there might be an initial investment to bring those businesses up to the level you want, but you got to identify the potential opportunity that, hey, here is a gap I see, and this is where I can make improvement, and this is going to translate into revenue. I'll give you a simple example. Golf business, right? I don't play golf at all, but I invested in golf business because the numbers were too good. My simple theory was, when I visited golf courses for my due diligence, the golf courses were not in good shape, meaning the grasses were not green, the clubhouses were not doing well. On an average, one of the golf courses that I bought was doing $3 million in revenue. I pumped in money into that golf course, fixed all the issues with the field, improved or renovated the clubhouses, multiple clubhouses. And now it has become the destination in North Carolina. And from 3 million, we are almost touching 10 million this year into that golf course. So we were able to identify the gap in that particular business, improve that gap, bring efficiency, improve the prices, and now made it profitable. So you got to have a vision in your mind when you're acquiring any business, whether this business is sustainable or not, whether you can make a difference or not, and whether there is still scope for improvement in terms of revenue, in terms of improving the bottom line, in terms of sometimes there are personal gaps, meaning you may not have the right guy for the job. So you got to identify that early in the game to say that, hey, maybe there is a better person that can be in this position, and that sometimes can improve the efficiency of your any organization or business.
When you're looking to invest, are you just looking at the short-term ROI, or do you sometimes see there's potential in this particular opportunity that may be longer term, and it may not be quick revenue generation?
So when I invest for long term, because that's where you're going to get value for money. Not only when you invest for long term, let's say initially you have to put some money to improve the business, and if you are there for a short term, the average return may be, let's say, 12 to 15%. Why go through that headache? There are mutual funds you can do or equities you can buy. But when you are in there for a long term, 6 to 8 years, the potential for returns are much higher, and you enjoy doing what you are doing. I mean, I literally enjoy all the businesses I have invested in, because you meet different people. It's always challenging you, yourself, your capability, your mindset on those different businesses, because skill sets are different, but the process remains the same. You got to hire the right people. You got to ensure that those right people are taken care of, and you want to make sure that those right people are committed to your jobs. If they are not committed, no matter how much money you pump in, no matter how many years you keep, those businesses are not going to do well. So my theory is, if you invest for a long term.
You also have a foundation. Through the Sharda Family Foundation, you focused on senior care, education, and community development. What inspired you to make these areas your priority?
So when I was in 2019, I got a call from India. My parents live in India. I got a call from India that your mother is in a hospital. She had a road accident. By the time I reached there, she was no more. And when I looked at her body, I realized that, hey, no matter how much money I have, I just couldn't save her. And we also went through the phase during COVID where senior citizens were basically helpless. They had no supplies. They had to rely on security guards for their food or basic needs. So I decided at that time that I'm going to create an area where at least once they are in my parameter, my boundaries, no other senior who is living there will have to face that fate. So I purchased a 16-acre lot, built a senior citizen resort with the intent of providing 7-star facility. It's first of its kind in India. It's called Golden Yog, and it has A to Z facility, including 24/7 food, coffee, medical, ambulance, walking trail, lake, fresh grown vegetables through vertical farming, and and all this thing for just $1,300 a month. So hey guys, anybody listening, it's a great opportunity for you to go and retire there. You'll enjoy the rest of your life over there and also have fun. So when I decided to pick up this project, the intent was give dignity to seniors in India. We all owe a lot because we come from that land. Yes, we are successful here. So this, I call it my Karm Bhumi, but India will always be my Jan Bhumi. And if there's anything I can contribute towards my birthplace, I'm more than happy to do that. I bring my experience from USA into that country so that we offer 5-star, 7-star facility. Simple things like printing. Senior citizens in India are not well educated to print airline tickets or their itineraries. We provide such services. Or doing a video call with their dear loved ones overseas. We provide that services free of charge. Or ambulances. We have one within our facility. So if anybody has any issue, they can be in a hospital within 10 minutes. So there are a lot of things we have done with the intent that social causes can be also impactful, and it is entrepreneur. It gives me fun to be associated with such ventures, which gives you happiness. At the same time, there is a fulfillment that, hey, not everything is business at the end of the day.
The Golden Yug Senior Living Project in Indore is a large-scale pioneering effort. What vision guided its development, and how do you see it influencing senior care in India?
So as I talked about Golden Yug, I think the philosophy in India still is, once you are senior, you are packed with 20 people in one room. There is one bed, very poor conditions. And I, through Golden Yug, want to change the scenario. In my view, our seniors who gave so much to us are library of wisdoms. They are underutilized, and they have disposable income because some of these guys have retired from highest positions in the government or private sector. They have the disposable income, but they just don't have the facility. So by offering a facility of its kind, we are enabling betterment of healthcare, we are enabling quality life among seniors, and hopefully this becomes the trend in India where seniors are not buying the spaces but renting out. Most of the spaces in India are mainly for selling, and I decided that at the age where they are 65, 70, 75, 80, you don't want to sell to them because it's a headache when they are no longer alive to transfer any property in India from one person to another. So it's a rental model where you come just with your clothes, you stay, you enjoy, and basically fruits of your labor for all the years you have worked.
How do you balance profit-driven business goals with your mission of creating social impact?
This is a tough one where when it comes to my name, everybody associates me with, hey, this guy is very profit-focused. That's what I did with my businesses, but there are certain projects like Golden Yug that has a social impact. And when you are doing projects which have social impact, I'm not looking at day-to-day profit because those projects are built for legacy, and they are real estate. At the end of the day, they are real estate projects. So maybe in the immediate short term, let's say 8 to 10 years, they may not be profitable, but I know that the property values every day is going up. So at any given point in time, whatever I have invested, I'm going to get at least 5 times from that project. So certain projects are done with the intent that it has a long-term value rather than a short-term value. And that's the balance you have to make in your life too, whereby not everything is money, and you cannot do social impact project with keeping money in your mind. So I think that's the balance we have to play.
As co-founder of the Indian American business impact group, IAMBIG, you're helping build a strong network of Indian American entrepreneurs in the DMV. What gaps were you hoping to close with this initiative?
So when I sold my business, we were looking at contributing to the community. And when I looked around, there wasn't one organization which brought people together on a monthly basis, which brought people from different spectrum or regions of India. There are associations like Telugu Association, there are associations like Tamil Association, or Punjabi Association, or Marwadi Association. But there is not one association or a group which brings everybody under one roof. So the intent was that by bringing all the C-suite entrepreneurs under one roof, to not only build our community stronger, have a common voice, but networking and collaboration across each of these communities. And we have been very successful. I'm very pleased to note that, or tell you today, that our group has 150 CEOs or founders that control almost 7 billion in net worth. We have created over 13,000 jobs among all the businesses. We do monthly gathering. We have conducted over 62 sessions of events in last 1.5 years. Some of those events include either investing in real estate or impact of GovCon business, or where the GovCons are heading, or investments in different parts of the world like startups, AI. So we bring different topics every month and engage not just the CEOs but their next generation. There are so many youth events we have done whereby we have given mentoring to them, where they come and talk to us or they ask questions. So the intent of the group was to build a community that we all learn from each other. Learning is always a constant process. And by creating this group, we have been able to learn from each other's strength and weakness.
What role do you see the Indian American business community playing in shaping U.S.-India relations in the coming years?
So while our group is not political group, we want to work with both the sides of the aisle, whether it is Democrats or Republicans. So on occasions, we have brought both the candidates who are running for different positions into our platform. I believe you have attended one such sessions. So our intent is that when the leaders or politicians see Indian American Business Impact Group, they see the power that we bring, the wisdom that we bring, the experience we bring, and of course the fundraising capability that we bring. We want to be able to participate more in coming years. We want to be included in discussions, and more specifically when it comes to India-US relations. Right now, India-US relations are not the best in the world, but I truly believe that these are temporary setbacks. India is a very vital partner. US is a very vital partner to India. And with the kind of population we have, 1.4, we are a check to China as well as Pakistan. And US needs us just as much as India needs US. And I think it's only natural and matter of time when all the issues will be resolved and we will see much stronger partnership between the two nations.
And is there anything in particular that the Indian American business community would like to see in terms of the future of US-India relations, or anything in particular you would like to see?
Yeah, I would like to see tariffs being abolished on both the sides. I would like to see, I know it's a hot topic right now under President Trump's administration, H-1B being revoked or made it difficult for Indians to come. But I would like to clarify through this platform that Indian Americans have contributed a lot. We are not here to take anyone's job. We have created, as I said, collectively, we have created 13,000 jobs. I myself had employed 800 employees in USA, and they all were US citizens because I was working for US government. So the notion that we are here and taking American jobs is not true. We are innovators. We come here, we build new tools and technologies, whether it is Bose speakers that we use or Perplexity, the new AI-enabled engine that we are building, or running some largest corporations from Sundar Pichai in Google to Satya Nadella in Microsoft. And these are just few examples, but I have met several entrepreneurs that are building chips, that are building in Silicon Valley. Vinod Khosla is a prime example. He invested money into Sun Microsystems, and Sun Microsystems became big. Few days back, even Bill Gates gave an example where He went to India, hired 15 IITians to grow his company. So I want to pass on the message that, hey, we are here to work jointly to build, make America great again, following our president's footstep. And we are available in any way possible to contribute. And if there is anything this administration would like us to address, we are willing to come sit across the table. And if that messaging needs to go to India, we would be the ambassadors for US government to talk to them and see how we can bridge the gap between India and US.
Well, that was definitely pointed, and I think all of that I completely agree with. So what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs like myself, right? I run a small business called Crystal Clear Communications. It's a boutique defense acquisition firm. I have about 15 people in my company who want to balance business success, give back to their communities and scale. Is there any tidbits, any advice that you would give in terms of what to do, what not to do?
My first and foremost advice is to any small business or to any entrepreneur. More specifically, let's say an entrepreneur like you is a small business, 15 employees. I would say charity begins at home only once you are highly successful. You'll be more effective when you are highly successful than trying to do something now when you're trying to build your business. So one advice I would like to give entrepreneurs is use this time, build your business, build partnerships, grow your business to a level that you would like your business to grow, maybe 20 million, maybe 50 million, maybe 100 million, maybe 200 million. And once you are at that scale, see the people around you would change. The change that you want to bring, you will have more power in what you can accomplish after you have, let's say, earned 200 million. Because whether we like it or not, money talks, not just here, but any part of the world. So my advice is use your time to build your business first. Be committed, be very laser sharp, focused. What can you do? How can you improve? How can you get your messaging out about your services? How can you help businesses? Let's say your services are communications or networking through different liaisoning between different government agencies. I think you need to market those services for next 3 years to an extent that you become the number one company in this area where people would say, hey, you know what, Crystal Call needs to be there in our business plan, in our planning sessions. So once you reach that status, once you reach that success, I think all other dreams that of giving back to community will follow.
And anything in terms of just, starving the turkey, feeding the eagle. There's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of different pursuits. You get approached with all different initiatives and projects in terms of keeping your eye on the prize and making sure that you're constantly growing. Anything that you have implemented in your own strategy over the years that you think has led to your success?
Yes. So
not taking you down in other rabbit holes and paths.
Yes. So when I was growing my business, I was very laser focused. My job was winning government contracts. And I was pursuing those government contracts, whether it was attending seminars, whether it was building proposal, writing proposal, working late nights, working with my team. I had rolled up my sleeves, whether it is price proposal, whether it is a technical proposal. You can ask about all the wins we have done. I can tell you the price we bid, the combination we proposed, the technical solution we proposed to the government. So I was very laser focused. At that time, I didn't do any golden yokes. I didn't do any other things. But my intent was that, hey, I want to grow my business. I want to be successful. Here is an opportunity, and I'm going to run with that opportunity. And I was lucky enough to focus, especially for all the GovCon people who are listening to this podcast, if they are. I build my business using different vehicles, government vehicles or BPAs. I would encourage all of you guys to focus on winning those BPAs. If you need to build partnership with smaller business so that your team is stronger in giving solutions, you should form those partnerships. If you have a need to bring bigger firms, you need to bring those bigger firms. But your whole focus should be on building partnerships so that your company, whether it is through joint venture or whether it is prime sub relationships, your proposal stands out. Government can say that, hey, this is the company I want. For example, if there is a bid out there for AI related tools, you need to go to Silicon Valley, or you need to go whoever is offering that solution. Try to bring them into your team. Offer something different than your competition. Unless you are different, you are running the same boat. But the moment you are offering something unique that your customer will say that, hey, oh, this is unique, I want to try this company out, you are going to win the orders. So my advice is still is a focused until you have built a good business.
Recently, you were in India doing a startup show called IdeaBuzz, India's Shark Tank. What is the difference between startups in India versus in the US?
So I do hear a lot of pitches in US. I do, as you said, I did 26 episode of IdeaBuzz in India. I was in a very unique position because I had 30 years of US experience behind my belt, and I was listening to the pitches of Indian startups. When I left India, there was no environment where startups were being built. There was no path to build a startup or start your own business. Now, thanks to Silicon Valley type arrangements where VCs are available to fund your startups, I see a lot of Indians from tier 2, tier 3 cities coming up with great ideas, whether it is AI solution or whether it is drone solutions. One of the company I invested in has built a drone that powers through electricity and uses hydrogen cells to for vertical speed, and the cost at which they are doing is unbelievable. I mean, a similar product in US would be in the range of 10 to 15 million. These guys are doing it at 100,000. So the major difference that I see between India and US, India offers a solution at very, very competitive price. The startup factory is just beginning to, or its initiative is just beginning to take off. And there are a lot more kids now that with $100,000 ban on visa or a fee on visa, a lot of these kids who were coming to USA would not come to USA, and they would build those solutions in India. So the major difference is a lot of these kids have fire in the belly to succeed. Here, most of the kids are, especially Indian kids, if I talk about, their path are driven by a constant messaging from a young age that you got to complete your college. You got to go to college, whether it is engineering or medical college. So the second generations are, I'm not saying they are any less smarter than the Indian kids, but I think their paths are not encouraged in the initial stage. Maybe they will get there. There is a big difference because here everything is already there. In India, things are getting built. So there is a big difference when you don't have things versus when you already are handed those things. You know what I mean, right? I mean,
sure.
US kids are more content because they have already got all these things. Indian kids are more hungry because they are trying to build those things. So there is a big difference in my view.
Can you share a bit about Sandesh Sharda, the man behind the suit? What are your hobbies? What are your social activities? How do you spend your day? Are you a morning bird? Are you a night owl? Can you give us a little bit of insight on your day-to-day activities?
Yeah, so like most Indians or most Indian guys my age who are born in 70s, late 60s, early 70s, and potentially some are in 80s. We grew up watching cricket, right? That is like a religion to us. So like any other guy, if I'm not doing work, I am flipping through channels to see whether it is IPL, whether it is any World Cup going on, whether it is any cricket event going on. So that way, the body doesn't allow me to play, but the desire is to play. So that's one thing. The other thing is I do like to socialize with my friends. I am blessed to have good sets of friends. And when kids are home, I love spending time with kids. I see the same energy that I have in my kids to do something of their own. So if I'm not talking or doing my business, and if they are seeking any advice, I love spending time with them. I love going out with them for lunch, dinner. I love doing a lot of activities outside of business in terms of travel, because on few initiatives I've taken, whether it is movie production or whether it is television shows, it does require travel. So I do go travel. I like to meet my relatives when I'm in India. So those are the things that keep me busy, occupied. When the weather is nice, I do go back to my barbecue. I have a big barbecue place in my backyard, and we invite friends. I invite friends to have barbecues and have fun.
And so are you more of a morning bird? Are you more of a night owl?
So it depends on the day, but most likely I get up by around between 6:30 and 7.
Okay.
I have a dog, so I have to take my dog out. Between 6:30 and 7, I'm up. I like to spend at least 1 hour going through all my emails, because I have business interest in India and business interest in USA. So while I'm sleeping, I do have to respond to some of those mails or take calls in the morning around between 7 to 8. Around 8, I'll have my masala wali chai. And then lunch. I try to skip breakfast and have lunch. And then I get busy with all the different taking or checking health of different businesses, or talking to different entrepreneurs or startups that I'm mentoring. I do spend quite a bit time with mentoring those startups. So yeah, sometimes I still roll up the sleeve and work till 1 a.m. for Idea Bars show. I was going to the set at 7:30 and coming back at around 1 a.m., 12:30 a.m. So I like to keep myself busy. I like to be active, and I enjoy it.
And you travel a lot.
I do travel a lot.
What percentage of the year would you say you're traveling versus when you're home?
I would say 60% travel, 40% home.
Yeah.
So my dog is enjoying my home more than I am enjoying my home.
And that is mostly overseas or also domestic?
Domestic also, as well as overseas. I have golf courses in North Carolina and South Carolina, so I go there. I have multifamily properties in Georgia. I go there. I have properties in other parts of the region. I have a startup investment in California. I go there. Most recently for film festivals, I was in Chicago and Atlanta. So those are the domestic trips I make, and yeah, I mean it's both domestic and international.
Do you have any final piece of insight for our viewers of just how to get to the C-suite and how to build a successful business?
I think we all have to have the desire to be successful, the willingness to build business no matter what it takes, because it's only you who can make that difference. And if you give up, then the business collapses. So business is built on personal strength of an individual, whether it is Microsoft and we associate Bill Gates. With Amazon, we associate Jeff Bezos. At the end of the day, it's the strength of an individual, willingness to succeed, and hunger to be at the top defines how you are going to do in your business.
Well, thank you so much for joining the show. And
You're welcome.
We'll see you in the next episode of Journey to the C-Suite.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.